Olá, bom dia. Carl Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show. And of course, this morning, a very sad morning for Portugal. It is a national day of mourning after the funicular tragedy in Lisbon yesterday. And so we'll have no music today and a somewhat muted show. We do have a guest a little bit later on in the show. But for anyone who doesn't know what happened in Lisbon yesterday, I'll just share the screen with you, covering what happened in Lisbon yesterday. 15 people sadly died yesterday evening in Lisbon. 15 dead is the headline that we see on the screen. It should be on the screen now. And hold on, let me just get that onto the screen correctly. Yeah, there we go. 15 dead as Lisbon's iconic funicular crashes into building, breaking up like a cardboard box, is how it's been described. And this is reporting, I believe, from, it's probably Natasha Don or the team at Portugal Resident. So let me just share this with you in case you are unaware of what happened. 15 people have been reported dead this evening after this was reported late last night, after the iconic Lisbon Elevador da Gloria, a funicular railway popular with tourists, derailed and crashed heavily into a building, breaking up, in quotes here, breaking up like a cardboard box. Early footage from the site shows the tram-like funicular, which carries people up and down a hillside in the center of the capital, completely destroyed. Thank you for your comments that that I will read after I've covered this or read this, shared this article with you. So yes, I see you in the comments, and thank you for being here this morning. The accident happened at around 6:15 yesterday evening on Wednesday, the 3rd of September, and it is being reported that it was caused by a cable coming loose. Again, a quote. The mayor of the city was quickly on the scene with scores of emergency personnel. President Marcelo profoundly lamented the tragedy within a short time of its happening, expressing his sorrow and solidarity with the families affected and stressing that he hopes the causes are swiftly clarified by the competent authorities. Reporting from the scene, SIC Noticias added that it knows that the funicular was submitted to a general repair in 2022 and an immediate one in 2024, all within defined protocols for periodic maintenance. Again, that's a quote there. Submitted to a general repair in 2022 and an intermediate one, an intermediate, not immediate, an intermediate one in 2024, all within defined protocols for periodic maintenance. Talking to the news station, Fernando Nunes da Silva, a specialist in engineering and formerly a member of Lisbon City Council, suggested that what may have happened is that a traction cable snapped, which would cause the funicular to lose control. He quoted here, "From what we can see in the images, it is most likely that a traction cable broke, and when it broke, the brakes that should normally work in a situation like this did not work," he said early on this evening. That was yesterday evening. This incredibly popular tourist attraction can take up to 43 passengers at a time and connects Praça dos Restauradores to Príncipe Real in the very heart of Lisbon. With such a confused picture in the first few hours, SIC reported that the number of dead could increase, which it has since we started our own reporting. That's the reporters at the Portugal Resident. It is clear that some of the victims were tourists, as there are foreign surnames on the list, says SIC, the news channel. INEM, that's the emergency paramedic service here in Portugal, has since confirmed that the victims are made up of Portuguese and foreigners. One of the dead was the Portuguese brake guard / driver named as Andre. It is now confirmed that there are 23 injured, 7 of whom are seriously injured. Among the less seriously injured is a 3-year-old child and his pregnant mother. One of the injured has been described as a South Korean woman. The wreckage is not being cleared until tomorrow. That will be today. It is the 4th of September. It is understood that some of the dead were found underneath the twisted metal fragments. Mayor Moedas has cancelled his agenda for Thursday and declared 3 days of mourning for the city. So it's an official national day of mourning and 3 days of mourning for the city of Lisbon. Avenida da Liberdade, close to which the wrecked funicular came to rest, was closed to traffic from the Rua da Alegria crossroads. Ironic there, of course, Alegria meaning joy. Rua da Alegria crossroads all the way to Praça do Rocio for some hours. This is an absolutely devastating accident for the city. Political figures were the first to express shock, sadness, and a degree of disbelief. It seems surreal that an accident as brutal as this could have happened in the capital. Witnesses have been describing the noise, alerting them to the crash, and then the horror of seeing the result. One woman told reporters about seeing the funicular crash into the building it hit, breaking up like a cardboard box. A young woman who arrived at the scene almost immediately after the crash said police arrived within minutes and ambulances shortly after. The first passengers to be carried to safety were children, he said, followed by one large bag which he presumes contained one of the bodies. This is news that has been swiftly reported throughout Europe. European Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen has already sent her condolences to the families of the victims. The President of the European Parliament, Roberta Metsola, has also reacted, sending solidarity in an emotional post over social media. Here, AMT, the Authority for Mobility and Transport, has said it hopes to bring the results of its investigation into what caused this disaster as quickly as possible, while Caris, the company operating Lisbon's public transport, and the Public Prosecutor's Office have also announced the opening of their own inquiries. A lot more will come on Thursday. I'm still reading from the report in the Portugal Resident. That's today, of course, particularly regarding the identities of the victims. Injured survivors have been transported to the Lisbon hospitals of São José, Santa Maria, São Francisco de Xavier, while specialist medical personnel travelled to Lisbon from Coimbra and Porto to ensure all the autopsies could be carried out through the night. Caris workers have presented successive complaints about maintenance, sadly. I don't think I'm going to go into that right now, but that is there in the reporting, not only in the Portugal Resident, but elsewhere as well. PJ Police Action Homicide Squad, the SIC reporting on this, as in SIC, that's the name of a Portuguese media channel here, understands that the PJ Judicial Police has called in the homicide squad and forensic laboratory technicians specialising in DNA, criminalistics, mass disasters and mechanics. As extraordinary as this sounds, the funicular dates back to 1885 and has never had any kind of accident of this magnitude. Espresso has carried the testimony of Jorge Dionisio, 68, who travelled on the cable tram regularly over decades. He told them, "I don't mean to be unjust to anyone, but the last times I travelled, I was afraid. The sensation I had was that there was a lot of wear and tear on the rails, particularly on the bends," he said, and that he felt every bump, particularly passing over the dilation joints. That's his quote. Tomorrow we'll bring more details. That's today, of course, as this was reported last night, particularly with regard to the fatalities and the survivors. So that's the reporting there. I'll go to some of your comments here this morning. Good morning to you, T-Duck. And Jackie was here earlier on. And apologies for my inability to be on screen. I had a reboot that seemed to take forever to get itself sorted out. So, Jackie, my heart goes out to anyone linked to this tragedy. Good morning, Jackie. A sad day indeed. Mike's here as well. Good morning to you, Colin, and morning to you, Matty, as well. Yes, as you report there, Lisbon Mayor Carlos Moedas has cancelled his agenda for Thursday and declared 3 days of mourning for the city. Thank you, T-Duck. The government has also declared a day of national mourning for Thursday. That is today, of course. Portugal Resident, as well as the Portugal News reporting, if you want to read that in English. Apparently, João Ernesto is saying they outsourced the maintenance for the trams a couple of years ago, formerly maintained by their own staff. Prayers for the people of Lisbon. You say, Jackie, so sad. Sandra will have normally pasted DY the bottom of the hill, or passed by. I think that's meant to say there, Lee. Good morning to you. Sandra will have normally passed by the bottom of the hill on her way to work. This morning the road is closed and lots of police in the area, says Lee. We've never ridden the funiculars because they're always full of tourists with long lines, says T-Duck. We have walked up and down that hill several times. Yes, 1885. No such incident in 130 years. So there's something in that, of course, but yeah, what a terrible tragedy for Portugal. If you feel the need to, there's little need me continuing. I think everybody understands what's happened, and the footage as well, of course, is all over the social media and the internet, as you might expect. So there's no need for me to add anything to that, I think, on this occasion. But if you want to express yourself and your feelings of grief and sadness, of course, for Lisbon and Portugal, please do so in the chat. So yeah, this morning we were hoping to speak to Alison Krupnik about pickleball, which we will do. Simone was joining us as well later on in the show. She unfortunately has had a personal situation as well yesterday. It was a very sad day actually for Lisbon. There was a building as well that collapsed, I think, rendering 16 people homeless, I believe, either yesterday or the day before in Lisbon. So very difficult day for the country and for the city in particular. So if there's anything else you wish to share, please do so in the chat. And in a somewhat clunky switch now, we will go to our interview with Alison, who I'll welcome to the stage now. Not with our usual razzmatazz, it has to be said, and I'm sure she'll understand why. Good morning to you, Alison. My buttons aren't working here to do that for some reason. Okay, let me see if that button works there.
There I am.
There you go, Alison. Hi. Good morning to you. Hi, Alison.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to express my condolences to everybody that was impacted by this tragedy, and also support to the first responders and everyone involved in the aftermath. It is truly a sad day for Portugal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. João Nesta adding here, Transport Federation urges that maintenance be returned to Caris workers instead of outside companies. I'm sure all of these comments we'll hear more of. And I'll just take care of that echo, so you'll be heard correctly now. Alison, thank you for joining me on this morning. You got in touch because you're a pickleball fan.
Yes.
It is. I actually saw Colin yesterday, who's a great friend and a great pickleball fan as well. There's just something about this sport, isn't there, that makes people. It's cult-like, I have to say, Alison. As I was walking through Colin's neighbourhood with him yesterday, he was saying, "Yes, that's a pickleball player. That's a pickleball player. Oh, they joined the club as well." What is it about this sport that is just so attractive to people, would you say? Because you're going to give us a little bit of a beginner's guide, I think, this morning, aren't you?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. I think it's a very community-based sport, so that's a huge draw. I think it's also a very Zen-like sport. That's what I'm learning.
Right.
It's a great sport to age with. And it's also a sport that has an easy entry point. You could start playing pickleball and get up to speed pretty quickly. Of course, then there's the effort that you make to refine your game and get better and better and better. And the nature of the sport, it's a rotating sort of a thing where you play with a lot of different players of different levels. So it encourages you to learn how to deal with other people, which is just a good life skill, learn how to improve your game, learn how to work with a partner, learn how to anticipate, strategize. It's really great for the brain, great for the body, and kind of great for the soul.
Yes. Incredible. I do want to come back to the Zen-like qualities.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do the technicalities first of all. So it's, as I recall, and I went along to the Eshboesht Centre for to Colin's invitation. Good morning to you, Colin. You're here in the chat, of course, this morning. And what I recall from it is it's an indoor sport. There's the big ball, which reminded me of a golf practice ball. It's a plastic ball with holes in it, isn't it? So
it's like a wiffle ball.
A wiffle
like a wiffle ball, if you know that term.
Right. Okay.
And it's not exclusively indoor. I used to play outdoor in the United States. It's indoor or outdoor.
Oh, okay. All right. So maybe on the Silver Coast where we have a little bit of Atlantic breeze, it's probably sensible to be playing indoors. And yeah, there were singles, there were doubles, and a court that's reminiscent of a tennis court, of course. And could you describe the paddles or the bats to us as well?
I should have brought actually I have my paddle in the other room, but the paddles are, they're not like tennis rackets. They don't have a grid. They're just a flat paddle. And it's kind of, if you imagine ping pong life size, right? If you imagine yourself as a person on a ping pong table playing with a paddle, it's kind of like that. It's like life size ping pong.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. And one of the really good qualities of it that you mentioned there is it's very accessible, which I'm not sure can be said of tennis. It feels
Yeah.
like you have to be pretty good to get out on the court and not suffer any lack of self-esteem fairly early on. So you can just get cracking and get started with pickleball fairly quickly, can you?
You can. I think the most complicated thing for most beginners is the scoring, figuring out the scoring. But other than that, the actual play
Yes.
is easy enough. And pretty quickly, you want to get to the strategy of moving up to what's called the kitchen. The kitchen is the area closest to the net. And
Oh.
that's where all the points are scored. If you learn how to dink, that's the term,
Oh.
to hit balls closer to the kitchen. I'm sorry, my cats are fighting while I'm talking, so maybe they're not pickleball fans. So if you hear a yowling,
It,
that's what that is.
it's just what cats do, Alison. We're lucky that it's not happening here as well. There are a number of kittens here and who have no respect for the transmission, so I
They
totally
have no
understand.
respect for pickleball, clearly,
They have
which
no
is
respect for anything, do they? But-
at any rate, you want to get up to the net pretty quickly, just outside of the kitchen and dink back and forth. That's where you're able to kind of, let's pretend I'm a pickleball court here. You can, by staying up close, you can sort of fend off most balls that come your way and control the game. It's all about controlling the game. If you're
Right.
further back, if you're pushed further back, your opponent tends to have more power and control than you do. So you want to move up as quickly as you can to try and control the game. And then it can be really fun because you're going back and forth, like in table tennis,
Yeah.
until ultimately something, somebody misses. But it's really a lovely, fun, strategic game. It's an all-age game, which is
Yeah.
another kind of cool thing.
Yeah.
In the U.S., where I'm from, I'm actually from Washington State, where pickleball was invented.
Is that
And
right? You're from the
yes,
originating.
I'm from the originator. I actually know the son of the guy that invented pickleball, which is a weird,
Wow.
random thing. And the
Yeah.
name, if you want a little bit of pickleball history, the name comes from this. If you know the sport, the rowing racing sport crew,
Yeah.
boat that the extra rowers would be in is called a pickle boat. And so pickleball was born because two dads on a summer morning were trying to keep their kids occupied in the driveway. So they invented this game. They pulled together a net and some paddles and things that they had and invented this game in 1965 on Bainbridge Island in Washington State in the United States. And
Right.
it kind of was for decades, it was like a thing that kids played at school. It was just a random neighborhood thing. And then it took off, 10 or 15 years ago. And of course, now, as everybody knows, it's all over the world. There are professional leagues. There are, professional sports people who are investors in teams. It's had a huge explosion. And here in Portugal, the club that I belong to, it was the first pickleball club in Portugal, I'm told. It started in 2017.
Mhm.
And in, I think, 2022, there had been some new clubs that had formed around the country. And so our club banded with 3 other clubs and started the first tournament. And
Wow.
now I'm told there are 40 or so different places throughout Portugal where you can play pickleball. So kind of anywhere where there's a concentration of like-minded people, you'll be able to access this game.
And it does seem it's being especially supported and played by expats and foreigners coming into Portugal. Is that fair?
It's fair. And I mean, I think for a couple of reasons, because the game itself has this kind of ethos of openness and welcomeness and accessibility. Our club has a number of Portuguese players as well, people from all over the world. But I want to say that when I came to Portugal, when we were settling here, because I was a pickleball player, I randomly reached out and said, does anybody know where pickleball is played? And I was immediately welcomed by this club. My husband and I were welcomed by this club. Please come play, come get to know us. And it's because of this pickleball club that we actually settled here, because we thought, where else can you have such a welcoming international community?
Yes.
And where else can you have access to this kind of way of meeting people where they are, We play in the I'm going to say this wrong, Arnarense region of Caldas, in just a local sports club. You walk in and the old Portuguese men are playing cards. There's a little snack bar. You come in and we have
I think
you know that club.
coffee. Yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
we have the court, or we have the room 3 days a week. So that's when we play pickleball. And the other days of the week, other sports are played. So it's kind of this vital, vibrant location. And our club has Portuguese, Americans, Canadians, Portuguese Canadians, Israelis, French, Belgian, Scottish, British, South African. I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting some of the nationalities, but we've got people from all over the world who are playing with us. And that is really sort of typifies the ethos of pickleball. All ages, all nationalities, all genders, all sizes and shapes and abilities. Everybody's here and welcome.
Great.
How
So
cool
very
is that?
well, it is really cool. It's very unifying, and we need that sort of thing in the world as well at the moment. And I think, especially from a point of view of if you're coming to the country and you're a little bit concerned about having a social life, this seems ideal.
It's ideal.
Yes.
It's ideal. And I know you said that you tried it once. I'm hoping you're going to come and join us. We're having an open house on September 13th at our club from 10 to 1. I think I sent you the link, but we can put it into the chat. And we're inviting people to come and try out this game. We're going to have some fun little challenges on our courts. And then we're going to have one court that's dedicated to teaching the game basics. We're going to have prizes. We're going to have a DJ. You're going to see our incredible community.
Wow.
What a great thing to do before lunch on a Saturday morning.
I love that. A DJ as well. I'm presuming the founders 60 years ago didn't imagine that it might have spread to far-flung places like Portugal, and that there would be DJs on the court and open events like this to encourage people to get involved. What a great job you're doing as an ambassador for the sport as well. Oh, and Colin doesn't want the French to be left out, which is another.
Did I not? I said the French. I thought French and
Well,
Belgian.
okay, fair enough.
Absolutely.
A little bit of entente cordiale from Colin there to make sure that the French are not forgotten there. And yes, absolutely, you have the Discovery Day here. Hopefully, that can be seen on the screen now. Discover Pickleball in Caldas, a free open day event. This is great, isn't it? Oh, there's the special balls that are used as well, and it is a club pickleball to Ashton in your own club there in Caldas Terrenia, Saturday, September the 13th, and from 10 until 1. So it's likely to be popular. So there's a reservation there. So what I'll do, if I may, is put the link to encourage people into our chat this morning, and maybe some other people will turn up. If you're not living on the Silver Coast, if you're not from this part of Portugal, how do people find out if there's a local club where they live, Alison?
I mean, I think the beauty of Facebook is that most local communities have local focused Facebook pages. The way that I found out was in a Facebook chat. I just said, hey, does anybody know if they play pickleball somewhere near Foz do Aurelio? And I got directed to this club. I'm sure wherever you live in Portugal, you could do the same thing.
There you go. Because Mr. S, a little point of order from him. He's always on my case.
What did he say?
Well, it's not a direct translation, but we'll call that the back of beyond, shall we? What if you live in the back of beyond? Very integrating. Well, as Alison says there, put a little message on social media, Mr. S, or perhaps in your case, anti-social media.
You could even get your own. You can buy nets on Amazon or wherever. There's actually also a store in Lisbon called Quad Sports. They probably sell nets. You could set it up in your driveway just like the original founders did in 1965.
Yes, there you go. If you haven't got a club, start one.
Start one.
A very accessible sport there for all ages, all levels of fitness, and Zen as well. Tell me. I mean, I'm loving the technical terms. I'm guessing. If you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen. That's the the bit where all the action takes place. And dinking sounds great as well. What for you is the Zen-like quality that comes? I mean, there's a lot going on. Do you find an inner calm whilst the thrashing of rackets and bashing?
I'm working on that inner calm. So I'm your typical American who's trying to downshift here in Portugal, and one of the things that's really interesting and illuminating for me about pickleball is that you really have more time than you think. So our coach, Avi, who is also our club president, he does training. He offers training. So I want to mention that not only could you join our club and play with us 3 times a week, but if you want to learn the basics of the game, we have group training every Wednesday, and there's also individual training. But we all yell calma, calma all the time because you have more time than you think to stop, let the ball bounce, and figure out what to do with it. And really composing yourself, thinking, slowing down, looking at what your opponents are doing, looking at what your partner's doing. It's all part of the game.
Mm.
And, if you come from a go, go, go kind of a culture,
Yeah.
that's just a good life skill. And it's a great life skill for Portugal. So the slowing down, the being zen, the thinking about where the ball is going to land, where you're going to position yourself, where you want the ball to go on the other side. That's just great. That's a big
Oh,
part of it.
wonderful. So it'll complement anyone who's looking to slow down in life as well, and a real sort of personal growth aspect to it as well, which sport, of course, brings to people, doesn't it? And it sounds like especially so with pickleball. Joao Ernesto saying here, I think you can fit 4 pickleball courts on one tennis court. It's becoming so popular that some tennis clubs
Absolutely.
turned into pickleball centres. And a competitor, it would appear then, for the other, dare I mention the other one, the paddle ball. That's
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like rice and patatas fritas, right? You can enjoy both.
well said. That's a very Portuguese metaphor because they're always on the same plate. aren't they?
Yeah. Why not have it all?
Yes, I play in a paddle group, says Joao Ernesto. Different game, but some similarities. Paddle is significantly more popular in Europe. Well,
It's true.
we'll see about that, won't we? It sounds like pickleball is enjoying quite the surge in popularity. Pickleballs, that's different. That's something else. I think you're talking about.
Saw that.
I think that's his nickname locally. Anyway, there's lots of pickle. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Oh, pickled from the sense of he's having a little bash at the Brits, I think, in Villamora. All right, Mr. S. Thank you very much for that, and thank you, Alison, for being here this morning. Was there anything I missed out? Anything that you'd like to add before you leave us today?
I think just the last thing I want to add is the community spirit of this, which I've kind of talked about before, but
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
when tragedies happen, when the world seems
yeah,
crazy, when the weather
yes.
is bad, whatever, to be able to come together with a community of people who really care about each other. And I'd say our community at our club really cares about each other,
I love
and enjoy this thing, turn off your phones, turn off the noise in the world, and just have this time together for 3
it.
hours in the afternoon, 3 times a week. It's a pretty nice thing. And so I encourage everyone to please join us on September 13th
Well
at
said.
10 a.m. Carl, I look forward to seeing you there. And we'd love to show you what we're all about.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, and well said as well. It's like we've forgotten how to switch off, isn't it? In a world where we're just constantly having information available to us about what's going on beyond our immediate lives, this
Mhm.
really is a chance to get in the present moment, in real life, with real people, and
Yeah.
connect with a community that pickleball seems so able to provide for people. So, thank you very much, Alison,
Thank you
and
so much,
all the
Carl.
best to you and all the pickleball community. Take
All
care.
right.
Thank you very much for being in with Brazil. Ciao. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now. I think that's a bye for now, basically, with Alison there. What a fantastic description of the sport. And thank you to her for being with us this morning. I'm not sure we'll do a full episode this morning. Perhaps I will just go to a little bit more reporting here this morning. And the George Branco, who's reporting, I trust and recommend to you on a regular basis. He was quick to report last night with a breaking news version of his Substack. So I'll just go through that for anyone who's joined us, who's new to the show. Obviously, a very different atmosphere on the Good Morning Portugal show this morning. We are in a national day of mourning here in Portugal following that funicular tragedy in Lisbon. I think that the whole idea of a funicular, people discover here in Portugal. There are a number of funicular systems around the country. There's one not far from me in Nazaré here, and that word will, of course, be much better known for the worst reasons. As of yesterday, the 3rd of September. So this is Jorge Branco's reporting here. Funicular crash kills 15 in central Lisbon. A national day of mourning. That's a horrific picture, isn't it? And that was the quote that we saw earlier on, how it was crushed like a cardboard box, basically. And it's thought that a cable has snapped. Let's see what Jorge Branco has to say about this. National Day of Mourning has been declared after a funicular derailed in central Lisbon, smashing into a building and killing 15 people. And that's taken from a Publico report, which is a Portuguese news source here, a media source. Another 18 people were injured, 5 seriously, when the Elevador de Gloria, which has connected Restauradores and Beira Alto since 1885, crashed on Wednesday afternoon. A 3-year-old child was one of the 13 people with minor injuries. Those numbers changed rapidly throughout the evening and may change again by the time we read this. We've got President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa and Prime Minister Luis Montenegro offering their condolences and solidarity with victims as calls for a thorough inquiry into what went wrong emerged immediately from across the political spectrum. Lisbon is in mourning. It's a tragic moment for our city, Mayor Carlos Moedas said. The mourning period in Lisbon extends for 3 days. The judiciary police were on the scene helping with the identification of bodies and collecting evidence of any possible crime, although there was no indication of suspicious intent. There was still no official word on the cause, but Publico reported that a security cable that links the two carriages appeared to have broken. Witnesses said the bottom carriage dropped about a metre before stopping at the end of the track, while the carriage descending from the top descended at great speed until it hit a building where Calçada de Gloria bends. The newspaper reported that maintenance of the Elevador had been outsourced, and Carris workers had complained of poor maintenance several times. Carris, which operates the funiculars, said the monthly and weekly maintenance programs, along with daily inspections, were carried out scrupulously. It said general maintenance was carried out every 4 years, with the latest one in 2022 and the last mid-cycle repairs done every 2 years in 2024. That's Jorge Branco's reporting there in the Portugal Weekly. I'm sure you'll see many more news reports about this as the day unfolds today on this national mourning following that funicular tragedy in Lisbon. I'll just see what other comments you may have. Antonio F. is here with us this morning, our great vizinho Português, our Portuguese neighbour, who I know commented at the Portugal Club. Thank you to Tom Smith, who posted something hearing the news in America. So thank you, Tom, for updating us over there. Thank you very much. Adrian, I think Colin might be able to answer your question about pickleball in the chat there. Adrian, a couple more comments from you. Okay. Also, for those who end up a traumatic brain injury survivor. You're talking about a brain injury service here. Thank you for suggesting that, Adrian. That may be, of course, a difficulty or a result for some involved. It's good to know that such services are available here in Portugal. As a former trade union health and safety officer, amongst and many other positions, I want to hear from their recognised union reps as well. Also, to flag up the Associação Portuguesa de Deficientes for disabled people here in Adrian. It sounds like you might be connected with that as well, Adrian. Queen and Convict, good morning to you, Henry and Nina. Our thoughts also with everyone affected by the Lisbon tragedy. So sad. It is these situations where we really don't know what to do we, except spare a thought and keep in our thoughts people who've been affected. And as Alison quite rightly said as well, an incredible job from the emergency services. So yes, thanks to them as well. I think it's probably best, nothing more to say. I think we fully understand the situation and what the scale of this tragedy for Portugal and for Lisbon in particular, that is going around the world at the moment for all the worst sorts of reasons. So I shall leave it there this morning, and we'll be back again tomorrow. Savika Anna will join us tomorrow. And we will return to the music tomorrow. And Ben Austin will be here with his phonetic approach to learning Portuguese as well. So I look forward to your company on this very sad day here in Portugal. I look forward to your company tomorrow, and wish you a good day today. Bom dia to you.